Okay, apparently that was an OBS issue, and I think I'm sorted out now. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Just gonna respond to myself, I guess. Starting now. Okay, I'm gonna walk through this article with the end goal of using this with the next version of Egghead, as we're using Vercel and Next.js to build out the next version of Egghead. So I want to figure out, this is something I looked into, couldn't figure out myself. I asked Gleb on Twitter, and he works with Cypress, and he wrote this article. He had planned writing it, and he put this up recently, so I'm going to walk through it and see what I can find out. So personal site made with 11e. So let's go ahead and clone this. Alrighty, and so we have this 11e example. I assume we'll have to npm install and all that. So bring this over here. Start the basic page in the README file. I've never used 11e before too, so this will be cool to see it in action. So that, then we can npm install -d at 11d/11d. Oops. Oh, forget that Command B in a markdown file will not collapse this. It'll try and make it bold. All right, I'll let that install. Start the local site. npx lemony serve. Okay, so npm start should do the same. Let's install in Cypress still. Give that a second. All right, so that's ready. npm start should fire that up. Port 3001. All right. So that's 11d. Nice that just worked. I didn't have to do anything for that. And browser sync. So none of this is Yep, that's what we got. All right, but that didn't. Is this the Cypress UI? What's the browser sync UI? Okay. Yeah, I don't think we've done anything with Cypress yet. If the port are busy, okay, Vercel deployment. Let's deploy it with Vercel. All right. I think I'm logged into, have two Vercel accounts. I need to like merge them into one. I wonder if I can show which account I'm logged into. Deploy custom public with cache. Who am I? There we go. Vercel, who am I? Okay. So that should be my personal one, not the egghead one. So I think just Vercel. Set up and employ. Let me make sure this is what Gleb was doing. All right. So he didn't use the command line. I'm going to use the CLI because that's what I would do rather than setting up the project manually. Looks like he's setting up the project manually in the Vercel UI and then linking GitHub. I'm going to do it from the command line to set up the project. Link to existing project. Actually, that's true. Let me share this on GitHub. Well, let's make sure. Yeah, we have a git ignore. I have a share command which does a whole bunch of steps to just push a project to GitHub. Hopefully it's doing that behind the scenes. Oops. Usually it gives me some output. It should be doing. Oh, it already has a git ignore. Maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, my share command was trying to add a git ignore, but there's already one in there, so I'll have to fix that some other time. That's right, to do ignore git ignore if it already exists. All right. All right, so here's my, let's see. So failed to push some refs. It's not showing me the. Nothing commit working drinkly. Oh, that's right. I usually run dgit on this to remove. Let's do that. Git init. Git add. Then let's see. I don't think this will work right now. Yeah. It's the remote command. I always forget. Git add origin. Is that what it is? Git remote add origin. There it is. Add origin. This copy and paste. So now if I Vercel on this, set up and deploy to my account, existing project, yes. Oh, maybe that's existing project in Vercel. That might mean that. I imagine that's what that means. Vercel, this, not an existing project, sure. Yep. Override settings, no. We'll give that a second to deploy. Oh, actually, I might be logged in to my Egghead account on Vercel. Let me try that. Dashboard. Yeah, I'm logged in my Egghead account on there, so I couldn't access this. So I'm going to log out. Just doing this off screen so you don't see me logging into stuff. Alrighty. Here we go. So it looks like this is up and running. Alright, so we should be kind of one-to-one here. Framework preset. Never seen that. Project settings. 11D. Okay. And link. Git integration, GitHub. 11t-example. Save. Connected successfully. All right, so that's that step. Production branch. Let's see if it. I'm not sure if it did main or master with the new. Since it defaults to main now. Looks like it defaulted to master. Just leave that for now. Okay. Yep. Everything's up and running. Okay. Probably want to deploy the top level index page as well. Navigate to the README page. Let's throw our root index HTML in there. I think this was already in the repo that I cloned, so I don't need to do that step. Install the Vercel GitHub app. I think I have that installed in my, let me check my GitHub off screen. Let's see. who installed apps. All right. Okay. Yeah, I have Vercel installed in my personal GitHub, so that should be set up. So let's just, okay, that should work. So let's get into the testing part. I think this is what Gleb figured out, is that we can get the Vercel URL back into a GitHub action to test it. So that's like the essential piece here, is getting this URL to throw your tests at. Alrighty. Didn't we install? Oh, I must have skipped over. Let's see. So I wasn't supposed to start here. He started from scratch, and I just cloned his repo. So that's what I misunderstood here. So Cypress is already installed because it was bundled in the package JSON as a dev dependency. So if I can, my Cypress JSON should be set to localhost 8080. Okay. Our spec will perform what we've done manually. Navigate to the link. Cypress spec. I've never seen this before. Oh, that's a TypeScript thing, huh? Let's go visit. Hi there. So the script to run this will be, looks like there's not a script to run right now. npx Cypress open. Let's just do a Cypress open script npm run Cypress, or let's just name this end to end. Oh, my server's not running. I need to npm start as well. Try again. Okay, there we go. And run the spec. Okay, click. So assertion passed. Expected README to include README. Looks like some browser sync. But that's fine. These were in the, our specs passed, so we're not too worried about those. Alrighty, I think we just leave that open. Drag this over here. Hit stop. Alright, contains hi there, contains a link with the README. You click it, path name / README, okay, then a link, test the, go back, contains hi there, okay. I think these are the kind of tests we'll be doing on Egghead. Mostly that the site, like after we deploy, that it launches and you can navigate through the pages. We'll figure out how much data and clicking and logging in and stuff we want to test out later on. All right. Flake-free Cypress test when navigating from page to page in the blog post. Interesting. We'll bookmark that one for sure. Alrighty, testing previews. Ran it locally, same page gets deployed preview. Vercel for GitHub dispatches deployment events to GitHub. Okay, you can write a GitHub action, execute in response to this event. Oh, does this already, oh, this already has the CI stuff. Oh, so if I make a change and push, that's probably already going to run this. Let's just make a change. Just right here. This is a change. And yes, changing something to test the build. And then is this gonna run? Yeah, this is running here. And so Vercel did this. No, it responded with these URLs a few times, apparently. I don't know if it, yeah. Now is Cypress gonna run? Let's see. Events that trigger workflows. Looks like it's running a post to the GitHub API. Is this expecting me to do a PR? I think it's expecting me to do a PR. Testing Cypress. And I can just do a pull request like this. Create pull request. Let's see, did that work? we'll use the branch name for the pull request. I didn't see that. Okay, pull request 1 created. All right. Is this going to show? I installed the pull request plugin for GitHub, and it's my first time really diving into it, but it looks like it's showing me all of this in line. Curious if it'll show me the tests. It's essentially rendering out this page inside of VS Code. Preview in progress. Some checks were not successful. Cypress test failed. I imagine, because I'm skipping ahead and I see this is expecting keys and environment variables to be set. So yeah, don't skip ahead like me. All right. I've only used basic GitHub Actions, but I get the general gist. There's events that trigger the actions, and you defined what runs when these are triggered. So push happens every commit, deployment happens every time Vercel starts preview deploy. Deployment status is set by Vercel twice. When the preview starts and when the preview finishes. Okay. Deployment status is not listed in PR checks. They're hidden or overwritten by deployment event, which seems like a bad user interface. Okay. Instead, we need to look at Actions tab to see the CI workflows run. And by clicking inside, figure out that they ran by trigger deployment. Okay, so that means that if you've never looked at it, if you've never looked at GitHub Actions before, they're in the Actions tab, and you can see how it failed in here. So the logs for Cypress, no scopes with read permissions were found on this request. Could not find Cypress test run results. All right, so I'm sure Gleb gets into that. Deployment status sends the following information. Target URL. The second one sends this. So if success, I've never read values off of those events. Must be this GitHub event thing. Yeah. So it looks like GitHub Actions define event variables on GitHub.event. Okay. All right. We can limit the GitHub action to only run a job when an expression is true. That's what they're doing here. If that. Because we want to run end-to-end tests only after a successful deploy. And we want to pass target URL as the base URL parameter. So base URL is set to the event deployment status target URL. Okay. Cool. When you push the commit, you can see CI job skipped except for the last job. All right. Require status checks before requiring certain test jobs to pass before a pull request can be merged. Protected matching branches. Let's see if I can remember where that is. This is one of those things you only set up every now and again. Branches, branch protection rules, add rule, require status checks. So these are now required before you can merge. Create. What is my GitHub password? Was it that? Name can't be blank. Let's do Vercel and end to end. Create. Rule is invalid. What? I clicked boxes just fine, thank you very much. Branch name pattern. This one. There we go. All right. End-to-end job runs and fails. That's where we're at. We have access to screenshots and test run videos. I recommend using Cypress dashboard to record test artifacts. Of course, he's doing his job by asking us to give Cypress money, I assume. I don't know how much it would cost to set up the dashboard. It might be time to start giving them money, though. We'll see. Vercel does not add a trailing slash when serving the production version, although it locally does. Oh. Testing against the deployed for use shows its usefulness. Let's update the test to be less strict. Interesting. That's in the spec file. And this one. So where detail GitHub gets wrong. Seems to confuse about which commit is tested, so it never reports the status back to the pull request. can send commit status ourselves with a REST API call. Well, that's probably... action steps. We can see the post success step ran while the post failure step was skipped. All right. Yeah, that's why, I think that's why my tests are failing, is because it's trying to record to Gleb's project ID. Okay, let's do, wait, let me just use, I'm sure he has a link in here. Cypress. Where do I log in? I think I have a GitHub account on Cypress. It's asking me to fill out a sign up form. And one project, one user. All right, so I signed in and I'm here. So let's go back to the Cypress dashboard. Projects. I used this a while ago and totally forgot about it 2 years ago. Can I not create a new project? So let's do the organizations page. Personal organizations cannot be used with the open source plan. Can I set up a second project in here? I don't see a button to add a project. Billing and usage. Am I totally missing something on how to add a new project? I would expect a button somewhere on this page. Cypress. Add a new project. All right, click on the Runs tab of your project. That's what I don't get. Set a project to record. Okay. Projects. You have the ability to record your project's test. You typically want to record when running tests in CI. You can also record tests when running locally. To set up your project to record, you must use the test runner. So I can't do this. Actually, I'm going to see. I can probably remove something from here, from the GitHub action, instead of trying to record my output. Cypress tests. If success, if failure, where's failure come from? Whoops. Is that? I don't understand where that failure function comes from. Job status check functions. Okay. I guess that's just this one. Okay. So it's posting to the GitHub API. And saying that the past Cypress so Cypress IO GitHub Action v2 must be I think that's where I got hung up. I haven't seen this uses before, and I'm assuming that's an action defined in some sort of GitHub action package thing. Use this GitHub action with your project. Add this action to an existing workflow, create a new one. There's a marketplace for GitHub actions? Okay. There we go. This was the part that I didn't understand from the article. Uses... Okay. So... I'm going to... Alright, why did this fail again? In my actions CI, end run Cypress failed with warning. No scopes with right permission. Okay, I passed record flag, but did not provide with the record key. So yeah. Because the example repo is trying to record, but I don't want to record. Right, let me comment this out, right? I don't want to record right now. I just want to test them. We'll set up that later after I figure out the whole project thing. But let's go ahead and commit and removing record. Push that. Let's check on this. Okay. So able to merge. Okay, so it's running the tests. I guess I can watch that in the actions. Right here. Let's see what it's doing. I'm a bit curious about setting up like my own GitHub action that people could run as a use. Not sure what I'd write yet, but that sounds interesting. All right, so passed. Big green check marks. Love big green check marks. Alrighty, so pull request. Alright, so this can now merge because the 2 successful checks, deployment completed. I mean, I guess end-to-end relies on this, so there's no way this would pass without this. I don't know if these both need to be required. And then you can just go ahead and merge that into main. And that's closed. And all good. Sweet. Let me see if I can add this to Egghead proper now. Got a bunch of Slack messages. Alrighty. Sorry, just responding to some Slack stuff. Okay. Okay. Sorry, just had some stuff come up in Slack. Let's get back to this. Alrighty, so using this, we open our egghead project and create a new branch. Branch name, JL, GitHub, Cypress, GitHub Actions. All right, and I think a lot of this is just moving that GitHub Actions file over. Since all it's really doing is grabbing that URL from Vercel and then running the tests. So I'm gonna straight up copy and paste this. Straight up. Well, GitHub /workflows and new file CI. It's a YAML file, I believe. All right. Yeah, this is all. I'm gonna leave a comment. Well, I'll just comment on the pull request. Context. So there must be something in this GitHub Action v2. So on push on Chrome. Specify the specs files to run with the spec parameter. There we go. So with Cypress integration spec 1. So I have a Cypress directory. Uh, I didn't see a spec in here, so I assume I use Cypress to set this up. I'm going to assume that it'll pick up on the defaults. So test checking to see if Cypress runs. All right. Cypress. We like to add GIFs to all of ours. All right. So did Vercel's running. We'll wait to see how far this gets. Because I don't think I have to add anything. Like the GitHub action should just pick up that I added a workflow file. Unless it's the Vercel app. Maybe the Vercel app's not installed on this. It's not sending stuff. Because I did not see. Nope, there's the CI. It's doing something. Oh yeah, I didn't put in my settings. I don't want to open that on stream. Settings, branches, branch protection. Let's see. So I just updated my branch protection on that. I don't think it has a Cypress cache. That's probably why it's taking so long the first time. Or maybe there's like a port issue. Nope. There it goes. Hey, sweet. Looks like they're running. Cypress test failed. Let's see what failed. Loads the home page. Oh, that's why. That'll be great. But that was expected to fail because I yarn dev on this. And I go to here. I have a spec that checks for this on the home page. But let me just check for this maybe. And I think I called my test yarn end to end. Whoops. Oh. Yarn start test dev sci open. Let's see. Okay. So we'll shut this one down. Alrighty, so let's just run all the specs. There's not much. So sweet. Okay, and we'll stop. And Fixing the homepage spec. Push. That's cool. That failed. It's good to see a failure and fix it. And now we can see if this. I'm going to leave a comment on this. We can configure the Cypress dashboard to make recordings of our tests. They even have a free open source plan. Which source plan? Might be nice to have videos of failures. So there's no guessing, but the logs in the GitHub Actions tab give the same outputs. Give lots of text output that we could use as well. And I'm going to add where am I going to add that? This runs this workflow runs our default tests or specs. We probably, or if we mess with the folder structure of Cypress, we may have to add a specs glob pattern. Alrighty. I'll only drop the URL. This is taken from Glib's article here. After going through the whole thing, it was essentially copy pasting the CI YAML since we're using defaults. Smile. Anything else to talk about? surprised I can't click on this from here. CI. 4 minutes ago. It's done. 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 Look at that sweet green check mark next to E2E. All right, that's all it took. Kind of anticlimactic, but I'll go ahead and end there.